Hello everyone. Today we will start English of class 12, lesson 1. The last lesson of Flamingo. The last lesson written by Alphonse Daudet. Question 1. What was the French expected to be prepared with for school that day? France was expected to be prepared with participles for school that day. M. Hamel had said that he would question on participles, but France did not know the first word about them. It includes all the in-text questions and exercise questions, so you can make notes along with the video. Second question is, what did France notice that was unusual about the school that day? Usually, when the school began, there was a great bustle. The opening and closing of desks, lessons repeated in unison, could be heard out in the street. But that day it was so still and quiet as Sunday morning. Question 3. What had been put up on the bulletin board? Answer. Every news was put up on the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all the bad news had come from there. The lost battle, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer. That day, an order had been put up that only German would be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Question 4. What changes did the order from Berlin cause in school that day? Answer. By an order from Berlin, German was imposed on the French-speaking people of Alsace and Lorraine. It caused a great dismay in the school. The teachers, students, and villagers became so sad to know that henceforth only German would be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Question 5. How did France feeling about M. Hamel and school change? Answer. When France came to know that it was their last lesson in French, he felt so sad. He regretted that he neglected learning French. He began to respect his teacher, Mr. M. Hamel, who had spent his 40 years in teaching French in the school. He also realized the importance and duty of their language. Question 6. The people in this story suddenly realize how precious their language is to them. What shows you this? Why does this happen? Alsace and Lorraine fall into the hands of Persia. Answer is this. One day, an order comes from Berlin that only German would be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Suddenly, the people in this story realize how precious is their language to them. The village people gather in the school to show their respect to French teacher M. Hamel and their own language. French also feels sorry for not learning his language and wasting his time in other things. He develops love for French and begins to respect his teacher for his dedication. Question 7. France thinks, will they make them sing in German, even the peasants? What could this mean? An order comes from Berlin that only German will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. This order makes people disappointed. France also feels angry when he listens pigeons cooing on the roof. He thinks, if they will make them sing in German, even the peasants. France realized that German can impose their power and language on French people, but not on the birds. They can enslave the people and compel them to speak German, but cannot force peasant cooing in German. Question 8. When a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to They hold fast to their language. It is as if they had the key to their prison. Can you think of the examples in history where a conquered people had a language imposed on them? Answer. In history, there are many examples in which conquerors impose their language and culture on the conquered people to show their power and superiority. The British colonization of India is one of the examples. In our country, English was imposed on native people. Question 9. What happens to a linguistic minority in a state? How do you think they can keep their language alive? For example, Punjabis in Bangalore, Tamilians in Mumbai, Kannadians in Delhi, Gujaratis in Kolkata. Linguistic minorities such as Punjabis in Bangalore, Tamilians in Mumbai, Canadians in Delhi, Gujaratis in Kolkata, barriers during communication. They can keep their language alive by taking measures to protect their language among themselves. They can continue to speak their language in their homes. They can also make their children learn their language. Question 10. Is it possible to carry pride in one's language too far? Do you know what linguistic chauvinism means? One should proud one's language, culture and nation, but it is duty of everyone to respect others' language and culture. Linguistic chauvinism is exaggerated or aggressive patriotism. In this story, we see linguistic chauvinism of German when they impose German on French-speaking people. So this chapter is completed. We will start the next chapter in the next video. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.